Date of birth and current age.
Martin Verman, 32 and a bit, 27th of September 1970.
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory was the little record player that we had. It was one of those little plastic ones with the stylus was, it was just a bunch of different pins that would get plugged.
Little toy one.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It was a toy record player. And I was sitting in the corner just by the front door. And I don't know which house it was. I assume it was a custom road, but I'm not sure whether I ever lived there. I was sitting in the corner, sniffing it. And I don't know whether you remember the old style mechanical devices. They used to have a certain smell, like other normal record players did as well. And it was just that smell. I love that smell. And I used to sniff my record player all the time.
Fair enough. Can't remember the smell myself, but what did you want to be when you grew up?
I don't know.
Funniest family story?
Funniest Vernon family story is the beach at Rhyl. My mum and dad, every now and then they'd have really generous streaks where they go out and spend lots of money, and they went out and spent 25 quid on a dinghy, which was quite a lot, bearing in mind that we were in Rhyl on our first ever family holiday and we had no money anyway. And I think the rawness of the Vernon family meant that we had to go and use it that very night. It was about 6 o'clock at night and it was really stormy, and the beach at Rhyl was really steep pebbles like that, and the sea was right in, and it was really, really stormy. Anyway, so we all sat on the beach, David in his clothes, with Girl cutting up all his clothes, me and Denise dressed like urchins, and my mum and dad sitting there as well. I can't remember whether anyone else was there. Maybe Orange was there. And we blew the dinghy up, and then my mum, in her tights, wanted to demonstrate how it worked, and she put one leg in the dinghy and it started to go out, and she had one leg in the beach and her legs got wider and wider apart. She fell in the sea, stormy sea, hit all her clothes, and it was freezing. And my dad laughed so much that his teeth fell out everywhere. We all thought he was going to die. We've never seen him laugh so much. That was a great story. Favourite Murphy family, funniest Murphy family story. It's kind of funny, peculiar. Was I think when we got married with Kev, me and Kev rushing around Barbados the morning before the wedding, and I was nervous enough as it was. And then we were kind of traipsing around with Kenny, and we ended up at Kenny's mum's. And Kenny had to shower for about an hour and a half while me and Kev were just sitting around.
Kenny was providing the music, just for reference. We met him in Barbados, it wasn't.
And we just ended up sitting there looking at pictures of a son's funeral. Remember, he was a postman. And she said all the postmen in Barbados, which was about 4. Actually, it was a lot of postmen for such a small island. They all showed up at his funeral, and it was just bizarre. It's bizarre time.
Did you have about 5 minutes to get ready?
Yeah. Kenny would look nicer.
Your best memory, excluding the birth of your kids?
On my mission. It was in Scarborough, the area it was. It's eastern Toronto, and we just baptised about 7 or 8 people, and we had quite a few people, about 6 people in our teaching pool. And every single one of them showed up to church, apart from a new member called Josie Olet. I think she lived in Acton before we left the area actually, but we were waiting at the door for her, and we were close to like just having a great sacrament because everyone was there. None of your teaching pool never all showed up. All the new members never showed up, especially because we had so many. And they're all there. And Josie Olet showed up right before the sacrament, and it was brilliant. And the talks were brilliant, and they played Sheep Safely Grace for the intermediate hymn. And I remember thinking, I could die happy right now. She's bending that book.
We'll keep that in. Your worst memory?
See you, Sandra.
Favourite colour?
Blue.
Top 3 favourite films?
Lebowski, It's a Wonderful Life, and True Romance.
Top 3 favourite songs?
Ain't Nobody, Yellow by Coldplay, and Sheep Safely Grace.
One thing you've learned?
That it's important to carry on learning. Drives me mad. We've had this discussion, haven't we? Drives me mad. Older people in life who look like they've either never learnt anything through life, or they certainly haven't learnt anything for the next 10 years, and it really depresses me. Old people who aren't wise. So to keep on learning, to stay open-minded, I suppose.
If there's one thing you could change in the world, what would it be?
More doubt. I think I know that this is quite surprising for someone who's quite opinionated.
Quite a thin list.
But I think this applies to me as well. I think the world would be a much nicer place if people doubted their actions a bit more.
One thing you like about yourself?
But that's the fact that I can do, and I always could do that.
Just zoom in there.
And
it's a good talent.
I've always been able to do that even before I started working out.
One thing you don't like about yourself?
My moodiness.
A goal in life?
What was my goal in life? 4 kids, wasn't it? We wanted to have a nice big family. I'll see that. I'll still see that as lovely as being a big family and having the kids around and just being cool and going out with my sons on the pole when me and the kids.
Because your sons will think you're really cool then. If you had £1 million, what would you do?
Buy a big house. Somewhere big enough with a room where you could shove all the kids, and then I wouldn't resent having everyone over in one go.
Best friend at school?
Loads of best friends. Probably makes me quite fickle, doesn't it? I had Ronald Walker, Lee Perry and Simon Shirley in junior school. And then in senior school I didn't have best friends, I just had, I guess I had Fergal and Julian and Matthew Yates and Darren Mosley and Paul Smith.
You had a gang.
We were the football team, to be fair.
First girlfriend?
Sarah Newey.
How old were you?
I was 13, she was 11. She snogged me at the bus stop. All my friends, Stephen Roberts and Paul Smith, were both snogging their girlfriends, but they've been doing it for ages. And I put my arm on the back of a wall like that, and Sarah Newey backed into it, and I dropped my wrist. You know what this stuff is, don't you? It feels funny telling you all this stuff. I dropped my wrist, and anyway, when the bus came, I went to give her a peck, like that, and she rammed the tongue in my throat and kept ramming it in my throat, and it was just shocking. And my hands shook all the way home, and I had to sit on them so my friends couldn't see how much I was shaking.
Oh, bless him. How people change. Last time you pooed or weed yourself?
It's got to be turkey, I think. It is turkey.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. Your last poo story.
I was being really wretched. I was knowing you, wasn't I? I was walking past all the topless women saying boobs, boobs,
pointing them
boobs,
out,
and then farting loads as well. So
I was feeling quite angry with him.
It was a mixture of farting and lecherousness, and you were quite irritated. And then we got down to Arslick, remember? We used to do that walk to the main street, and then we
were going to the beach,
Arslick, and I said, we've got to go back to the hotel. And you said, why? I wouldn't tell you at first, and then I had to just admit that I was pooing myself. Far too far, really, wasn't it?
It was a far too far. Your favourite joke?
The polo joke, which I won't tell.
It's funny though. Last fight you were level. Oh no, I've missed loads out. Person you most respect and admire in the world.
Well, I like Newton, don't I? I did my project on Newton at college, and he was a weirdo, but then I think you have to be that clever. But he was an interesting bloke as well. And do you know what as well? I was watching Graham Norton the other day. I think I respect and admire Jeff Goldblum.
I thought you were going to say Graham Norton.
Graham Norton as well. I'd like to be that macho.
Lover or fighter?
I love him.
Last fight you were in?
Nick Clower got mashed big time. He beat me up. I used to cheek him on the bus all the time. And Simon Francis, who you've met, used to protect me, and then one time he caught me without Francis, and I was with Matthew Yates, and Matthew Yates just watched as he beat me up. It wasn't a fight really, was it? It was just a bit one-sided.
It was a pounding for you.
Yeah.
If you could be anyone else in the world, who would it be?
Robbie Williams. Young Robbie Williams. Actually, maybe Jeff Goldblum in The Fly.
In The Fly?
It is not as Martin Brundle, but like when he was in those days, and when he was like.
When he was young.
Do you know why? Because of that Divine Comedy song, the Gin Soap Boy. I'm Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. Now who am I?
What was your first pet?
Jackie the Scrum. Lovely dog. Had a tragic death, which really upset Mum.
Did you have a favourite toy or comforter?
Action Men. I used to have loads of Action Men, which I've only got one of now. And, one was called Paul. One was me, the one with the beard. I've just remembered the one with the beard was me. Because Neil used to tell me that he had a little red book, actually a big red book, and there were a couple of sailors, and he used to tell me that they were me and Richard in the future.
Aww.
And me, I had a beard, and so my Action Man with a beard was me. And then Paul without the eagle eyes was the other one. I don't know why it was called Paul.
Favourite swear word?
Bloody hell. It is, isn't it?
It is. Says it all the time. Longest word you know?
Floccinochinihilipilification.
Meaning of life?
Don't know. Don't know.
Best Sandra memory?
As you know, my favourite year of my life in terms of just having fun was 17, because we just knew everyone in the country, apart from Soraya. I didn't know Soraya. That's because she didn't come out, but everyone who used to go to church discussion, we knew them all, and we thought we were quite popular, and we just, our little gang, we used to go around, it was a gang of boys and girls, and just have complete fun. And that was set up by Sandra. I mean, because she, from the age of 14, 15, she was dragging me and Denise around and introducing us to people, making girls who didn't want to talk to us, and well, not to Denise, but to me, and vice versa for Denise. And she was just brilliant. Never embarrassed. Never. Always say, you know, she used to. Peter Sheridan said to me afterwards, after she died, he said when he lived at Carter Road, he'd call 40 people for a party and 5 would show up, and Sandra would call 5 and 20 would show up, and it was true. You know, she was very charismatic in an understated type way, and she just when she did a minibus, like, she could have filled it 3 or 4 times over, but she always used to save a seat for me and Denise. It's a lovely memory of oh gosh.
Could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Do you know what? I think now it would be that the Hilton Hotel in the Maldives.
That's what I was going to have.
With £1,000 a night. $1,000 a night. That's not too much.
Is that how much it is?
Yeah, for the thing. So for both of us, it would be. So I thought it would be.
It's in the Maldives, by the way.
I thought that's what I said, didn't I?
I don't know where you said.
It would cost. Well, obviously £7,000 for a week, which I was thinking of $7,000 for a week, and I was thinking about £20,000 for a week for 2 people. It's not bad.
Not bad.
And that's what's about £4,500 for a week. Which, I mean, Dan and Laura are spending it. I mean, admittedly it includes their flights, but they're nearly spending that much.
We'll do it one day without kids.
Yeah, you couldn't. It'd ruin it taking kids. If you want to read books,
it's too idyllic.
You know.
What gives you the shivers?
Hey, your dad's arms. They're just in his dance video. His arms are infeasibly long, and he's got a long body as well. And particularly in The Wizard of Oz, when he was a munchkin, and he was just kind of doing this with his arms, and it just scared me. Just scared me. Gave me the shivers. Truly did.
What's something you hate people saying?
Would I do that? It just tries to simulate cuteness. You know, you say basically about something you would do, and you say, would I do that? Kind of kicking your leg up as you walk off, and it really irritates me.
Do you know all the words to What's the Matter You?
No.
First car?
Was the Yugo, which you knew about. You used to drive it at university.
Most embarrassing moment?
Was it was when I first joined Anderson's. I'd just come to London, and we had a big posh black tie ball at the Waldorf Hotel, and I was really nervous about eating in front of the partners, and they put me right next to one of the partners called Noel Page, and I ended up hitting a bit of broccoli off my tooth, and it ended up rolling all across the tablecloth, and just got gravy everywhere, and it was just horrifying. It was my worst nightmare come true, really, for that scenario.
Something guaranteed to irritate you?
What really irritates me, Bob? It's when things aren't in their place, yeah.
Things being,
In the house in particular, I mean, I don't mind in other people's houses, but in my house, if things aren't in the right place, it means I can't relax.
I tried to hide a bag of stuff once under the bed. He wouldn't have been able to relax.
Who are you talking to?
You. I don't know. Why are you cut that out? Why are you sadder?
Probably because of that, actually. The fact that I can't really relax until I know everything's in its place. And I'm in a much better mood when everything is tidy.
Do you collect anything?
Collect Lego, don't I?
You collect something else as well?
Football sticker album backs. Yeah, whenever I do football sticker albums, which we're going to do this year because Wolves are in the Premiership. I always collect all the backs, but that's because I think it will make the sticker albums more collectible one day, or more worth more money.
Favourite book?
London Fields by Martin Amis.
If you had a time machine, what would you do?
I'd go back to the 26th of May, I hope that's the right date, 2002. Get all the sporting results as well, and I'll take a bit of money back, or get Sam and John to put a bit of money back and tell Sandra not to take that journey that day.
What do you get passionate about?
What do I get passionate about? I get passionate
Football.
about Wolves, yeah.
Saul.
About you and you.
Me. Well, I didn't like to say me.
About at certain times, I mean not always obviously. But they wouldn't be passion if it was always on. I don't know what else. If people just stopped and started walking barbecue.
I'll tell you why Alcie's sadder, because he's a real window watcher, curtain twitcher.
You can't be here again. Who are you talking to?
Well, the people who are watching the video.
Oh.
What's your favourite scripture?
1 Corinthians 13.
Saul's jumping off the coffee table.
1 Corinthians 13. I just love it. I love Paul's. I think Paul has kind of like been humbled by something before he comes into it. He reminds me of someone who thought he was charitable and then he's just been really humbled, and he writes the first couple. Son, you're not even at the edge. So like that. Sorry.
And what would you like to be remembered for?
For my love of the oceans.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.